fancy theological.
What I understand about Make to Flourish, the emphasis is in the pastor, helping, equipping, coming alongside the pastor to equip the pastor to tell the congregation how faith and work are connected.
I think that Made to Flourish helps people move past the abstract and even the things that are seemingly theoretical and start getting into kind of brass tacks. What does this actually mean?
Start considering a church plan in a non-urban.
I believe that all the churches here in Atlanta really need to start to think critically about the way that they engage the lives of their congregation.
When we came here to Atlanta 13 years ago, I wasn't that conscious of this issue. I wasn't conscious of the integration of work and faith. There were some things that I just naturally thought about regarding integration of work and faith, but no one was training me on this conversation, is what I would say. And that's why Made to Flourish and similar organizations are so important to this conversation.
Being a church that serves the immigrant community, we have to be very often, very emphatically telling people your work matters for the kingdom. Okay, you are gifted in certain things, and you go ahead and produce wealth, go ahead and be excellent, be the owner. And it's interesting because you don't have to tell, at least in my congregation, generally speaking, all immigrants we are like this. You don't have to tell us to work hard. That's the very reason we're here in the States, to work hard. So that part is easy. The purpose of that hard working is the one that I need to remind all of us is the kingdom purpose of that.
One of the things that from a pastoral perspective, it would be helpful to remember is, I guess, what we might call the creation mandate. And so that's language that some pastors can really understand. And when we look at what it means to work and keep the garden, ultimately that is to kind of generate and protect a really healthy oikonomia, if you will, a really healthy economy for all people. I think drilling deeper into what that looks like is something pastors really need to be thinking through.
We live in such a bifurcated society today. And I feel like sometimes the church is even guilty of that, of creating ministry as something that happens only in the church, or you have to go to seminary to do. And we are constantly, at City Church, here at Metro Atlanta Collective, and of course being part of the Made to Flourish family, we're constantly working to integrate work, faith, and economic wisdom.
I believe that many of these churches need conversations, new ways to kind of frame and look at their ministry, and I believe Made to Flourish can bring that new kind of narrative, that new story to say, hey, discipleship involves more than just creating good Christians that come to church and volunteer, but that the work of Made to Flourish is helping expand that conversation to say, hey, what about the Monday to Friday?
So what that might look like is, I think for us, it's meant, how do we look at some of the economic structures at play in our community, and how do we look at the unintended consequences and sometimes the intended consequences thereof? How do we look at that? How do we get involved in that, care about that, pray on that, and actually act on that? And I think that's Made to Flourish has really empowered us and those that were a part of my learning community, business leaders as well as church leaders. It's helped us think differently. There's a paradigm shift in the way that we view our world because of Made to Flourish.